So my focus is a little bit different. I'm a professor of game design in Stuttgart, and I'm focusing at the moment very much on live action or non-digital games. For example, like board games like this. It's out, I think, last month. So in my talk, I want to focus today on escape room games. So maybe it's a good idea first to ask how many people heard from escape room games. So raise their hand. Okay, so it's like maybe 20%. How many people played escape room games? Not so much. I know Gregor from yesterday and some folks here in the front. And how many people used it in class? Oh, but mostly you're teachers, huh? Some people are teachers. So it's focused, my talk is on for teachers. So I want to show you that you can use escape room games as a teaching method and also as a learning method, and that it's not so difficult to use it or to construct it by yourself. So that's the goal of the talk in the next 18 minutes still left. So first, for the people who don't know what escape room games are. So escape room games are live action, so real games. All games are real, but in a certain sense of real, that you can really go into a room where player discovers clues, solve puzzles, master tasks in one or more rooms. Mostly it's more than one real room. So after a break or after the first puzzles that you solve, you will see, okay, there's a hidden door, and you go to another room. And this task or these challenges, normally you have to master in a certain amount of time. In a team, it's between 45 to 60 minutes. So these are the classic escape rooms. So the classic ones are real rooms you can break out. I checked today, in Warsaw, you should have something like 40 to 50 companies that are providing this kind of service. So it's not cheap. When you want to go with school there, normally it's possible. A lot of companies are doing that for team building purposes. So you have to ask for a discount normally. So this is an example for a classic UK escape room. So no. So to build a steady escape room, it's much too difficult, and it's also expensive. So it will start between 3,000 to 5,000 euros. But the really, really expensive ones are 200,000, 250,000 euros. So, but there are some schools, there are some museums that build escape rooms for special education purposes. The second possibility, and that's a possibility that it's much more important for school, mobile escape rooms. So like in the left example, you get a kit, it's called Logic Box, with some keys, some locks, and you can use it together with a list of puzzles, a list of challenges, to use it in class. For example, when you have biology or history, you can use that. On the other side, there's a box. The goal is here to open the box and also to solve puzzles. And now, since the last month, there are also some board and card games around, altogether worldwide 4. And with this escape room games, it's also possible to reach some goals. These games are really cheap. That's a good thing. So what is the main game principle about escape rooms? So you need to know that when you really want to design your own mobile escape room in school. So there are all deduction games, like Mastermind, or Cluedo, Clue, or Scotland Yard. In this kind of games, you have a range of possibilities, and you have to sort out what is the most important or the right possibility. For example, here in Scotland Yard, you have to find Mr. X together in a team. So you have to find out what is the place, where is Mr. X. So all escape rooms are deduction games, and you have certain kind of core mechanics or actions that you have to do. And you have a certain kind of challenges in this kind of games. So normally you have to solve mental puzzles, and you have physical tasks that you have to master. Here's an example for a very classical transformation puzzle. You have a box, you want to open the box, so you see you need 3 numbers, 3 digits, and you also see a kind of a lamp with some suns and some stars. So you count together these symbols, and when you know, okay, I can't see it really, it's 1, 2, 4, you put in the digit, and you can open the box. And normally for the players, it's a nice feeling to open a box, especially because you don't know what's behind the box, what is inside. And in this kind of boxes, you get some new clues for the next puzzle. The other thing that you can do in escape rooms, also in mobile ones, physical tasks, for example, like in a laser maze, where you have this laser beams, and you have to find your way. So, for example, you can use this also in sports. So, what can you learn from escape rooms or in escape rooms? I think you learn to search, and all what you do it normally in a team. It's not possible to master an escape room by yourself. So the task or all challenges, the puzzles, are designed that you only can solve it in this certain amount of time in a team. So this is a very important thing. So you learn to search, to observe, to correlate, to memorize. Very, very often you need to use math, you need to play around with words, you need pattern recognition, visual recognition, things like that. So I still have some time, lucky enough. There's also a commercial kit, especially out for teachers. I think they started, it's a Canadian company last year. And with this kit, it's very easy to build your own mobile escape rooms in connection to the subjects that you normally teach. And there's also a community, it's a platform where you can download all the puzzles. So for example, when you live in Canada, it's very easy to say, okay, I now have 7 or 8 years old, and I teach this kind of subject, and you load this templates and use this already made puzzles for free. So here's a short trailer to explain Breakout EDU the cat.
Tired of students sitting in rows bubbling in worksheets? Introducing Breakout EDU. Breakout EDU is a revolutionary new product that allows educators to bring gaming into the classroom in a meaningful way. Breakout EDU is great for getting learners out of their seats and moving around. Each game requires critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. Breakout EDU is great for learners of all ages, including adults. Each game is centered around the Breakout EDU box, and players have a set amount of time to open the box. During a game, players need to successfully navigate a series of mysteries and solve engaging problems. All games feature a blend of physical and online puzzles. Each Breakout kit comes with a physical box and a series of locks and other items that can be used to play any of the Breakout EDU games. New games are being added to the store on a regular basis, and there are many free games to get you started. Teachers and students can also use the online templates to design their own games. The Breakout EDU kit can be purchased directly from the website or can be assembled using the open source instructions. Learning has never been this much fun, and the classroom will never be the same again. Every classroom needs a Breakout EDU kit. Let's reinvent education together. Breakout EDU. It's time for something different.
So this is a commercial trailer. I'm not from the company. And the company was too stingy to send me the kit, but I tried it out. So here are my conclusions. I believe that escape rooms, or the design of escape rooms, the design of puzzles, design of tasks, it's a good learning and teaching method, but only to a certain kind of subjects, not for everything. So it's only new tool in the whole set of teaching and learning tools, but it will draw on playful design and on the high motivation of the players. So I will end with some pros and some cons. So I think the pros are that this kind of games, when you played it, it's really a lot of fun. The people in the first time, normally they are totally getting out of themselves, they're happy and they want to talk about it. I had this discussion with my colleagues that are sleeping now on the... Okay. And he said, oh, it was one of the greatest things that I did the last time. And I said, yeah, it was a bad room. And he said, yeah, it was one of my first ones and it was really, really good. And I said, yeah, you have to try out the really good ones when you really get it, what you can do with that. And also, I think this is a big difference to other kind of games and also a lot of digital games. It's really a group activity. So you every time normally need 2, 3, 5, 6 people to solve the puzzles. It's not possible to do it by yourself. So that's the reason really a lot of companies, all big companies in the world, are using escape rooms for team building. All big companies that I know. And always you can draw on this high motivation of the players, because kids, young adults, they still like to play. So it's very easy to draw them into the game. You can encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. So a lot of the puzzles, they are math puzzles. And this is really stuff people in school, they don't like. In an escape rooms, they think it's great. It's a great challenge, I have to master it. I think there is really a change in the behavior and the thinking then of the people. It's good for stimulation. It's learning in a safe space. So we call that magic circle. So the people in this kind of game, they know it's a game, but on the other side, they will try out new things because they think it's safe to do it, because it's a game, so it's not really real. You can connect learning with emotion, so this will lead to a more lasting experience. It's active, immersive. And I think that's one of the most important things when you play games, is that the players want to feel power and control, that they are in charge, and you can help them with that. Sometimes, or very often, you can use it for different kind of content, learning content. And for example, with Breakout EDU, you can exchange your ideas, your games for free. So it's easy to start. But here, there are also some cons. I think maybe that's one of the biggest problems. So when you want to start with a mobile escape room, you need time. You need preparation to think about the puzzles or to look after the puzzles from your colleagues. It's not really the problem to buy some logs and maybe a blacklight flash. That's not really so hard, but you really have to think about your content and which content fits into 45 minutes, for example. When you never tried out or you never designed a game, I think it can be hard to design puzzles. and especially the design of complex puzzles can be very hard. So I do it as a profession, so for me it's not such a big problem, but in the beginning I think it can be really hard. And to be fair, Breakout EDU concentrates more on simpler log-key problems that we normally not using in good rooms. So they're more like a starter. Most of the games at the moment are only available in English. So Breakout EDU wants to start in Europe this year, but I'm not sure about it 100%. You can't use it for every content, problem or teaching, learning style. And there are still costs. So for a very, very simple game like this one, it's start with 20 euros. When you want to have this break or this brain box, it's 400 euro. So you have to invest something. When you need some lock and keys and buy it over the internet, over Amazon, it will be 30 to 40 euros. So maybe not too expensive. Yeah, so I want to conclude that in my opinion, the design of escape rooms can be helpful to design some problems in schools. When you use problem learning, it can be great really to raise some attention from your students, but it's not useful for every content. So I had an appointment with these Breakout guys and they said, oh, it's great really for everything. This will be the future of school. I don't think that. But I think for certain kinds of problems, for certain situations, it can be great. And in Germany, I gave this talk 6 months ago and on a very, very huge teacher conference with several thousand people. And they said, oh, it's great because when you become a teacher, you need some new technology, some new methods. So it's great to try it out. But I don't know if you can use it over and over because it's too much preparation maybe. Okay, thank you.